This is the Analysis in Change with Nathan Williams and Neil Kieran.
Welcome to Analysis in Chains by CryptoNews.com, your daily source of all things crypto. I am Nathan Williams, and joining me today is Lodewijk Veldhuijzen. He's the CEO and founder of Anycoin. Anycoin is a online coin broker system for allowing people to help each other. Sort of like, I guess it's sort of like Go Butler, but with incentives. Is that accurate description there, Lodewijk?
So, hi Nathan, pleasure to meet you. And it depends on how you look at it. So essentially what we do is we give people a chance to help each other over the phone. It comes down to the philosophy that, take a look at yourself with all your radio knowledge. There's a lot of people who could benefit from that, but then they have no real way of reaching you. So the Anycoin is part of the Anything app, and it allows people to book you per minute over the phone, and they can ask you questions.
Now, why would someone want to book me, for example? Like, what would be the incentive someone would have to say, oh, I'm going to look for someone over the phone who can give me some sort of advice?
Well, Nathan, that would depend on your speciality. If your thing is radio, but let's take a look at something that is a bit more publicly necessary, like doctors or lawyers or anything business related. Mm-hmm. These are things that are quite difficult to find accurate information on online. You're stuck Googling for hours, and it's just much easier to talk to a person sometimes. And with this person, you can also video chat, so you can actually show a problem that you have, and that's something that currently the internet is just not capable of doing for you. So that's where we make our difference.
I see. So in other words, if I was having sort of an immediate problem, I could go and find someone who would know a lot more than I would about it and ask directly.
And that's exactly it, yeah.
Now, you mentioned doctors and lawyers. Is there any sort of difficulty in getting someone that's got a certification behind them to sign up, to sort of filter out the people that are just pretending?
Okay, so that's a very good question, and that's actually going to develop in stages. So what we're doing initially is we're making this marketplace where we allow people to create their own credibility for themselves by uploading their diplomas, links to their websites, and that kind of thing. But that's only going to last for a certain amount of time, because at some point, our user base will say, well, hey, wait a second, I want this doctor to be verified. So that's something that we're developing towards, that we can actually vet these experts and make sure that they're 100% as skilled as they say.
Now, you say this is part of the Anything app. Now, I understand that the Anything app is already sort of running. Is that correct?
So actually, we're on our second prototype right now. So last fall, we created this prototype, kind of like an investor demo, which was functional. So you could call, chat, and payment to process and all these things. And now we're working on our second scalable product, which is using, tech that would allow the entire world to use it at once. It's not in the stores yet, but it's a really long way.
So tell me, what sort of people were the first adopters of this? Like this is a marketplace. It's got the chicken and egg problem, right? So,
Sure.
When you're dealing with the chicken and egg problem, which market did you go for first?
Okay, so then a market that we see a lot first is people who already supply the service. But for now, for them, they have to do it through Skype, and they have their bank payments that they need to organize on the side, which is quite clumsy. With us as a network, as a platform, they can just suggest this platform to someone else to use, and everything flows very conveniently for them.
Oh, so like things like tutors or...
Exactly. But the industry that we're going to see the most first on the platform is business related, because that's where the demand in the domestic market really is. So we've been talking with different parties, including the government, and they're most excited because an app like this is super necessary in the startup scene.
Really? Why is it? Why the startup scene specifically?
Well, let me just say that I'm building this company now. We're building this company, and we need this app so badly already. And it's because there's so much information you don't have access to. There's so many things that you want to learn as a startup, and you just don't know how to reach those people. For me, if I'd want to talk to a business angel with Anything App, I could just very simply do it. And I could ask him any questions on how to best pitch, or just pitch him directly, whether it's VCs or advice on legal, or if I want to quickly call someone in a different market and ask them how they approached it. So you have, as a startup, it's usually a team of 2-3 people, and knowledge is, even if you're amazing, knowledge is still limited, and just being able to reach out like that is very powerful.
Yeah, I would imagine so. So are you seeing sort of a lot of interest at the beginning?
Yeah, we are. So we see people very actively supporting us, getting excited when we pitch our product and say they want to distribute it across their entire network. And this, right now, we're seeing a lot of interest from the incubator and accelerator scene, who say that this is, it's quite simply a necessary product.
That's interesting. Have you gotten a couple of incubators to sort of come on board as pilots, first supporters, that sort of thing?
So not officially signed up, but something that we're working towards from their end. So they're making it work now. But the enthusiasm from their side is certainly there, yeah.
Now, what was behind the decision to go into an ICO? Why not use just regular bank transfers in order to incentivize people?
Well, it had to do with when we were building this product. I think we were about 3 months in, and then we started already introducing, without even necessarily thinking about crypto, but we started introducing a second currency. Mm-hmm. So because we noticed that just having one currency in an app like this really isn't enough, because as a startup, you don't have unlimited funding. And that comes with certain issues. And one of them is that when you have a platform like this, you have to imagine that you're really kind of reprogramming people, because now suddenly they can ask advice from strangers. It's something that they're not really used to. And that means that the first couple of times they have to do it for free. See? So that is something that you need to incentivize. You need to give them the opportunity to do that for free. And it's not something that you can do with real cash. So you need to introduce something else that they can trade between them that has value. And crypto is a perfect way to do that.
And you guys are building on Ether, correct?
Yeah, we're building on Ether, absolutely.
Why Ethereum? Ethereum, I mean, obviously it's the big player in the market, but there's been a lot of question about scalability. What was behind your decision?
I think the questions about scalability are absolutely dignified. The reason why myself, and I think so many other people, are still using Ethereum, even though there are scaling issues, is the fact that there's so much third-party support. If you're building a company like this, you're really going for the long term. And right now, everyone is building solutions for Ethereum, specifically for ERC20, because so many people are using it. And that means this whole infrastructure is going to exist, which we can then benefit from. I think that these things like scaling, Ethereum is figuring it out with things like Radom, Casper, sharding. So they're working on it, and I think the scaling will improve, and it's going to be fast enough for sure. It's already fast enough.
So now, I mean, I was reading through your white paper and your 2-pager, and it says that Anycoin is an ERC-223 token.
Yeah, correct.
So what exactly is a 223 token for the people that don't know?
Okay, so ERC-223 is backwards compatible with ERC-20. So that's something that I should point out first. So that means that it will work with your hardware wallets. Every single thing that supports ERC-20 supports ERC-223 too. But there are some benefits, and the biggest benefit is that there's reduced gas costs. So it's cheaper to send around. And that's something that makes it very, very likable. And also, if you have ERC-223 and you send it somewhere, then it checks whether or not the platform can sustain ERC-20 tokens. If it can't, that means if you send those ERC-20 tokens somewhere, they get locked up and you lose your funds. So ERC-223 prevents that from happening. If you have it, you know for sure that it will never get blocked in that way.
We're speaking with Lodewijk Veldhuijzen. I hope I pronounced that correctly, Louis. I wanted to... oh, man.
I'll take it.
No, it's fine. We're speaking with Lodewijk Veldhuijzen, the CEO of the Anything app and the Anycoin, and I wanted to switch gears briefly and talk to you about crypto in general. And what do you think is some of the biggest blocks to mass adoption? I mean, to clarify, I mean you're dealing with a fairly mass market appeal type of token where it's going to be a crowd token. What do you think are some of the challenges that that token projects like yours are going to have to face in the future in order to see this mass adoption happen?
I like that. That's a very good question. Thank you. I think that in order for mass adoption to happen, you need to link it to an application that has widespread enough appeal and trust that people will actually want to use it. So right now, I think most of the market, let's say 95% plus, they still think crypto is really scary. And that's something, as a company, that's something that you have to sympathize with. You have to understand that. So we need to kind of hold people's hands and ease them into using tokens. We cannot just expect people to be okay with it. So, and that's what we're doing with our approach. We're taking it very gently.
And well, I mean, with this sort of thing, like, do you have to do a lot of education for like individuals who are coming in, or is it going to, or do you expect it's going to be mostly sort of crypto natives who are your early adopters?
Okay, so in our case, we'll definitely have to do education, because I reckon with our app, at least 80%, close, maybe even 90%, will not even really understand or know about crypto. So, and that's just because our app has that appeal that people just kind of need it in their lives, I guess. It has too many benefits to pass out on. And that means that's why we need to incorporate traditional money as well, because otherwise it's just too scary for them and they get kind of like shied away from it. When it comes to education, that means that we have to put that inside the app, which is a challenge for us, but we're figuring out some ways to make that still quite attractive.
So how are you incorporating fiat currency into the app then? Like, does that, like, are you having trouble with registering the transaction if it's through fiat, or how do you incentivize people to use the token if fiat is available?
I see. Well, the thing is, this is also something that I haven't mentioned yet, but using a crypto is indefinitely more expensive less expensive than it is to use fiat. So by using our token, we are able to really break up our commission. If you use our app and you use fiat, our commission is 15%. And that's because we need to pay credit card companies, and even 50% is really tight for us, but we want people to make money. If we use crypto, we can knock that commission down to 5%. So that is something. And if you make it just as easy to buy in the app, when people can just literally click, well, I want to use fiat or I want to use crypto, if it's that easy, then that 10% suddenly makes a very big difference. People get attracted to that stuff.
Now you're launching your token sale soon, and congratulations. I'm curious as to what your sense of the market is overall. Like, did you choose this time sort of thinking that the market was going to recover after the bit of a crypto winter we had earlier, or what's your sense? Are we going to see a repeat of the summer of 2017?
Well, honestly, yes, we chose this time because now it's recovering. So we were thinking about doing it before, but winter was bad. Winter was pretty terrible this year, especially coming down from December. So there was so much emotional ache in everyone, and just running an ICO at that time wouldn't have been the moment to go along with it. So how the market is going to develop, it's always impossible to say. But I feel like we are at the bottom of the massive mountain of crypto that's going to swallow up all our attention this year. There's so many players moving in now, so many things are happening. If you ask me, this year is going to boom for sure.
I talked with a lot of people who were sort of looking at the overall crypto market, and you get sort of the range of opinions as to how it's going to be, what's going to be the same, what's going to be different. I'm wondering if you've noticed, is it easier to approach, say, crypto-specific investors with your token, or have you received a lot more? I guess has it been easier to approach retail investors, individuals with maybe an ether to put in?
I think as long as you have an interesting project and you have already worked your way forward far enough that people can see that you are serious, you're not a scam, you have something to show for, so you have a good chunk of your product, and so on and so forth, then most ICO investors are willing to take you quite seriously and take another look at you. And then that would be an easier approach than to go to retail investors and try and get one ETH each out of them, which is something that you're much more capable of doing when you have that system set up, which are essentially public pre-sales and public main token sales. So, but that's something that you have to prepare for. You need to have marketing capital for that, and you get that initially from either business angels or ICO investment groups who are willing to take a look at you at a very early stage, which often means that you have to come up with a bit of a creative structure, because you cannot just offer high bonuses that will really screw over the people joining your ICO later. So you need to be a little bit smarter than that. So we've had a lot of success there, but then we're also definitely building our relationships with angels and other interestees in Thailand, and having them participate as well.
What sort of incentives are they offering? This is the first I've heard of Thailand as a hotspot. I've heard of all sorts of other countries, but this is maybe my Eurocentric news bubble that I've been in.
Okay, so then let me point it out. So the government initiative is actually called Thailand 4.0. So they're going stripping way over 3.0. And what they're doing is they are allowing foreigners to fully own the company, which before people weren't allowed to do, which is the reason that no one was starting a company there. They're cutting away income tax for your company between 5 and 8 years. So that's a long time you don't have to pay income tax, which is incredibly nice as well. Then it comes down to other factors that they are making massive software development farms.
Okay.
There's a lot of co-working spaces popping up and all these events that they're really pushing. So there is a lot more money flowing into Thailand exponentially almost over a period of the last 5 years. And every year has been a big boost. And if you look at these things and you then take into account factors such as cost of living, cost of labor, and then the quality of output that you get, and your management costs, then suddenly it becomes more attractive than Vietnam, which a lot of people consider to be the hotspot right now. Right. Which to my experience is, well, I mean, let's just say I obviously prefer Thailand, so you hear me raving on about it. And then Singapore is cool too, but for a company that's just starting out, it's very expensive.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it also doubles as a nice vacation spot.
Sorry, as a what?
As a nice vacation spot. So you can go, you can do your, a week of work and then take the long weekend at the beach.
It's like I really hope we're going to get there someday. And but we're definitely going for it. I was thinking that if we work really hard, and next year somewhere maybe, what I could do is take all the engineers and just go work on an island for a week or something.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing, eh?
Wouldn't that be amazing? That would boost morale. That'd be awesome.
That would be the definition of living the dream, I think.
I certainly hope we get there.
So Louis, tell me, what should we expect in the next couple of quarters for the Anycoin?
Okay, cool. So the Anycoin is part of Anything App. That's the thing, obviously, I'm most passionate about. And Anything App is releasing Q3. Just very, very, very exciting. And then we'll have a pretty strong base for the sellers immediately.
Cool. And if I wanted to download any app or get notified when that would happen, where should I visit?
Okay, so then you have to check out our Telegram, where we're currently boasting over 70,000 followers, which is completely awesome. So you can follow us on Telegram, you can follow us on Twitter. We have Facebook too, but Telegram and Twitter is really the place you want to be. All
right, well, it sounds really amazing. Best of luck with your development of your app, with the new company in Thailand, with the token sale. It sounds like everything is coming up, Louis. Lodewijk Veldhuijzen is CEO and founder of the Anything App and the Anycoin. Best of luck.
Thank you so much.